Well, it's the 31st of May, and I figured I'd sneak in one more quick prospecting trip for the month. And it's 1 o'clock. I think I got a couple hours to play today, so I just brought down. I thought I'd just hit a few cracks and crevices. Down here, we've got some bedrock exposed right along in here, and right here I've broken out a piece of the bedrock itself, and there's a little crack running right down there. You can see the clay material right down here, and I'm going to try and keep this helmet cam pointed down at you. And I notice there's a little layer of material that is actually on top of this bedrock. I'm going to scoop that up, toss it in my bucket. There's not much, but it only takes a 1/4 of an inch drop for gold to sit down. And you know what? Right at the end of my shovel, that may be a piece of gold right there. Alright, I'm going to put that in here. In any case, like I say, just goofing around today. Worked on my motorcycle this morning and got it running. My wife and I took off, took a little motorcycle ride over to Jamestown, which was a fun deal. And I'll just scrape this stuff off. Yeah, we actually have other things to do than just prospect. As a matter of fact, I'm in the process of creating creating a video showing Wayne and I and our other prospects, or excuse me, our other pursuits, hobbies, whatever, and that way you get to know Wayne and I a little bit better. This is what we call bookshelf shale, and it will actually break apart. You can see it right here. Sometimes gold gets in here and sits in these tiny little cracks. You'd be amazed at what shows up out of this stuff. We have worked this area pretty extensively, because this is a point where we have done several videos down here in this area. As a matter of fact, this is the same area that Rick's Rock is located. It's right behind me in the creek. But right now, like I say, I'm just goofing around doing this stuff. We're going to scrape all this and just see if we get a little bit of gold. So I'm going to clean all this out. There we go. Come on, baby. Knock this off. And just mess with that. And we'll get back to the video when I finish cleaning this little drop up, and we'll see what kind of gold we get out of it. Alrighty, well, as you can see, I've cleaned this section of bedrock out pretty well. Even scraped a little off the top of the bedrock right down here. There's a lot of bank run material that's dropped down here, but there may be some gold hiding in there. And we ended up with a pretty decent pan, or excuse me, classifier full of material. I'm going to run back here and find a semi-deep spot in what's left of the creek here and start panning this out. This is going to take a minute. I'll have to classify this all out, and I'll get back to you when I get the material panned down to a reasonable reveal point. Okay, well, I got this material panned down this far, and it's time for the reveal, and I am getting a beautiful, beautiful pan of gold. I don't know, I'm going to have to keep this down so you can see. Look at that gold. Holy cow. That is amazing. That is unbelievable. Okay, and that was out of one little classifier full of material. But look at that gorgeous gold. Holy cow. That just goes to show you that sometimes just scraping a little material off the bedrock beats digging 6 or 8 buckets full of material. And I am just amazed. This is probably one of the best pans I've gotten in the last few days. This is crazy. That's an entire day's worth of good gold right there. Alright, I'm going to try to hold this up close to the camera and hope that you can see all that stuff. That's all chunky. It's all beautiful. Life is so good when you live in the mother lode. Holy cow. Except I have bugs crawling on my neck. Alright, well, geez, I haven't even done the plus 20s yet. Holy cow. Alright, well, looks like May 31st is going to be a good day. I may have to break some more of that bedrock up. Holy mother, man, that is so sweet. Alright, I'm going to try and persuade this stuff to get over here and leave the rest of the silvers and black sands here. Alright, got a couple little goodies there. Alright, that was my first pan, and I was just down here to goof around, but that's probably one of the nicer pans I've seen in some time. And of course, Ray is heading down the hill today, and he is not going to be available to prospect, so I called him this morning. Then I called Wayne, and Wayne is using one of my tools to clean his screens and windows this morning, or today. So he wasn't going to be available. But when he sees this video, he's going to be regretting, holy cow, the fact that he didn't come and scratch today. Alright, well, that was dynamite. I'm going to turn off the video right now and get back over and do my plus 20s, and I'll turn it back on for the review on the plus 20s, so bear with me. Well, I've got my material down, and these are my plus 20s. I'm down for the reveal now, and I can see pieces of gold in there already. This is insane. What a day. Holy cow. Look at that. Look at that. That's amazing. I don't know how many plus 20s there are there, but I'll count them up here in a second as soon as I get them cleaned up. Holy cow. Let me persuade some of that stuff down on here. And I think I'll turn this, tap these little puppies up. Look at that gold. That is incredible. I've got one down here that just so heavy it wants to roll downhill. That is a nice little chunker there, man. Okay, well, let's see if I can avoid dropping some of you out of the pan. How do we get this? That little puppy is going to roll it in. There we go. I think we're just going to leave all that material in the bottom of the pan. We'll spread these out and see exactly how many we got. Alright, so we got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 plus 20s. And that was one classifier full of material. Look at that beautiful, beautiful gold. Alright. Well, geez, I can go home now, because, man, I got more gold than I get in an entire day's worth of digging. This is crazy. But, crazy good. Alright. Some days are like that. Some days, I have to tell you that, you live for days like this. Because every spoonful or shovelful of material has gold in it. And it's just beautiful when it happens. Alright, well, you know what? I'll bet I'm going to clean some of the more of that bedrock off right now. Well, you can see that I just cleaned a little more of the bedrock here. Then I found a drop. It goes right down over there. And so I figured I would dig that out. Now the bedrock itself is actually breaking up with my spoon. You can see it flake away there. So I thought, you know, that might be a good spot, and that'll help me figure out exactly where all this gold came from in that last pan. Alright, so I went ahead and panned down. I'm about to do my reveal here. And this is the second pan, and I see some gold showing up. Yep, little piece of lead. Alright, this is more like a normal pan, but so that lets me know that that gold was accumulating at the back of the crack, and in that clay, right in the crack. So I'm going to continue on down that. The crack does continue down farther, so I'm going to work on that a little more. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces of gold in minus 20s here. I'm going to hold it up here so maybe you can see it. Alright. And make that 8 pieces of gold. Lost a little tiny one there. Alright, so 8 pieces of gold. Not bad for one pan of material, but certainly not like the last pan. Holy cow, I'm still just shell-shocked from that thing. Alright, so I'm going to snuffle this up, then I'll do the plus 20s. It's a little warm out here today. If you happen to see anything dripping into the pan, it's my sweat. Every time I bend over, the sweat drops inside my glasses and pools there. So pretty soon I'll be close to blind. I don't know, something along those lines. Alright, let's get a little water and a snuffer bottle. I am definitely happy with today. I mean, I could quit right now. Hey, when your snuffer bottle sounds like that, and it was a clean snuffer bottle to start with, you know you've got a good day going on. I love that sound. The only sound I like better is tink and tunk. That's when the nuggies hit your pan. Alright, I'm coming back in a few moments after I finish panning out the plus 20s. Since where my spoon is down here, got some gold, right? I think the gold was coming over the bedrock right here. Here was that other chunk of bedrock back from here, and there's a crack right here, and that's where I got all that nice clay that accumulated in the crack. And you can see the crack down here. And so I'm going to basically scoop out the crack for starters. Just a little bit here. It doesn't want to scoop very well. I'm going to have to break it up. Right, but this is decent material right there. And then right down here where the crack really show. Oh, look at this. Look at this. This whole chunk of bedrock is moving. Let me get a little more stuff on it. Now you can see the clay right down in here. Right? That is the good stuff. Right there. Oh, baby. That's right. So I'm going to pick this piece of bedrock up, and I'm going to wash it off very, very carefully in my pan. And I got my classifier in the pan there. So that's what's about to happen here. Okay, heavy piece of bedrock. Come on out of there. Look at all that clay. Oh, man. That is excellent. Alright. And I'm going to wash this puppy off. And, oh, boy. This hole just gets better and better. I certainly hope the gold still hangs in there. But, yeah, this is going to be interesting. That's funny. pan isn't big enough to handle all this. You can see this stuff break up too while I'm scraping it off. Everywhere in here. All this clay and nice material. So it's half smart I just fill a bucket and take it home and process it. But I'm having too much fun panning out gold here. Alright, I'm going to continue cleaning this rock off. That'll take a little while, so we'll get back to the video in a second. Let me see if I can find a finger that I can not stick on my camera lens. Okay, well, we've got the third pan here, just doing the reveal on it. This is my minus 20s. I did the plus 20s and nothing came out of the plus 20s, which was kind of odd because I was back into that clay on that first crack. But I see that it looks like we are out of the gold. The gold is in a pay layer, not a pay and a pay streak, right? So we got two little chunks of gold here and 2 or 3 pieces of fly poop, and that's it. That is really strange how you can go from a pan full of gold and 10 or 11 plus 20s in one pan to down to 2 reasonably small little pieces and some fly poop, and all within a space of what, 12, 18 inches at the most. That's amazing. Alright, well, that just shows you the vagaries of hanging around here with Hurthawk in the mother lode. And I'm going to try and put the reflection, or excuse me, the shadow of the camera over the little pieces of gold so maybe you can see them a little bit better. And that is that, my friends. I think the only thing I can do is continue on down that bedrock and see if right at the base, let me show you what I'm talking about here. You remember the rock was here, right? We got this clay right here, and that's where all of the gold was, right in this first 5 inches of the crack, right? Now, crack, well, yeah, still continues around here. I can break this out, which I will do, right? And go on back here. Now I'm thinking because the general slant of the bedrock is this way, maybe down here there's another pocket of gold. I'll have to find that out, but not today because I've got enough gold for the day and life is good. Besides, I left my drink in the truck and I'm getting a little dehydrated, so I'm going to have to go up there and get something liquid in me here shortly. Okay, well, that's it for a really interesting day down here on the old creek, and thanks for watching.